Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. So the test matches are done and now it's time for the limited overs. Five T20s coming up. Is going to be a good preview for the World Cup. I have with me my co-host, Bra Aziz. India versus England, bro. Are you excited?
Oh, always, man, always.
So it's five T20s. I mean, this is going to be a complete different ball game altogether. I don't think we're going to see that many turning pitches. I might be wrong, but there's going to be a lot of runs here, and it's a full strength England team versus a full strength Indian team. So I think it's going to be a really good encounter. I think Bumrah is missing a few games due to personal reasons. But apart from that, it's a full strength Indian team, and with England, it's their core T20 team. So your initial thoughts on this?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this is a completely different ball game. I mean, England with white ball cricket are a completely different animal. They've really created a team that is worthy of the accolades that it's gotten in the recent past. You know, like they won the World Cup, they won a lot of the series, they won home and away. And white ball cricket, the kind of players that they have, the kind of batsmen, the kind of bowlers, the kind of just the team that they've built is quite incredible. And well done to them. You know, after a poor performance, I think it was 2014, 2015, they really rattled the cage and changed things around quite nicely. And then for the past 5-6 years, they've been a dominant force in white ball cricket. And 2019 World Cup was like the cherry on the top, and they've continued to do that. And I think under the leadership of Ian Morgan, who's been quite phenomenal as an England captain, they've just come a long way. So you know, this is going to be a very different ball game. So it's going to be something that I'm looking forward to. And with India, obviously, you know, India is a champion side, also in all three formats. So you know, it's almost like champion versus champion kind of a situation, right? So it's going to be fun, entertaining cricket, and I think it's going to, like you said, there's probably not going to be that many turning pitches. So it's going to be more. I don't want to say the word competitive because it takes away from the fact that the test matches were not competitive. I don't think that's the case at all. But I think it's just probably what I can probably say is probably we'll see a lot more closer games. We probably won't see kind of the dominance that we saw in India in the test. I think it'll be a lot more closer, and I think it's going to be tricky. I think 3-2 to India is my prediction.
Oh wow, 3-2 to India. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's will be very close. Before I give you my prediction, I just want to discuss a couple of things with you. With
Yeah.
England, there will be a bit. I mean, I wouldn't say pressure, but do you think Morgan is more like the happier captain compared to Root because he has a full strength squad? It's like more straightforward for him, and it just looks like England are giving this T20 World Cup much more weightage than the Test World Championship. I don't know. Of course, the quarantine is there, the rotation. I understand all of that, but with this packed squad, I'm sure they're taking this T20 World Cup seriously.
And that's what surprises me, because the World Test Championship was before the T20 World Cup. So I felt like they should have given the Test matches equal importance, but they obviously decided that they want to go all guns blazing with the T20 World Cup. So you can see a full strength squad. So it's going to be like a nice run out for them, and then most of their star players will be playing in the IPL. So it kind of gives them that time, and then they take their break in the June-July time, and then they're ready for the T20 World Cup, which is probably what they prioritized. Unfortunate, yes. I was expecting a little bit more from them in the test as well. But yeah, it is what it is. But like you said, Morgan's definitely the happier captain. He has a good strength, a full strength squad to choose from, and the best 11 will make it. And this is going to be a good headache for Morgan to have, because almost all those 15 players are proper top class white ball players.
Yeah, and if you look at India, I think they're Hardik Pandya. They're reserving him for the T20 World Cup in terms of bowling. He can probably play as a batsman in this series with the spinning all-rounders in Washington. So they're available. Akshar Patel, Jadeja's
Yeah,
not there, but he'll
yeah.
fill in when he comes in. But so Hardik Pandya will probably pick himself as a batsman, but ideally they need him for the World Cup as a bowler, as an all-rounder. They'll need that from him. But what do you think about the opening slot before we get to the middle order? Do you see Shikhar Dhawan opening, or do you see Rahul and Rohit Sharma opening?
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very tricky one. I know that KL is bad in the middle before, and it's going to depend. I mean, Rishabh Pant has been so phenomenal, but I just feel like I think they need to think about his workload as well. They might not play him all five T20s, or they might, I don't know. I mean, he is still a young lad, so if they want to just go with him, that's fair enough as well, because he's been good with the bat and with behind the stumps as well. But KL Rahul is the white ball wicket keeper, as of the last series at least, you know. So with Rishabh Pant's improvement, yes, that's something that I'd be thinking about. But I think KL Rahul in the middle, I think at 5 is probably what I'd go, and I still stick with Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit to open,
Rohit to
and
open.
Virat at 3.
I'll just go with my ideal 11. I think you might
Yeah,
disagree in a few places, but you can just like tell me what you think. So
right, for sure.
I'm actually going Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, then Virat Kohli, and then I'm going Surya Kumar at number 4, Pant at 5, Hardik at 6, Sundar 7, Bhuvi 8, Thakur 9, Natarajan 10, and Chahal 11, or like you can swap the bowlers. But the reason why I'm going Thakur is I just feel that without Jadeja there, maybe I don't know how Sundar will. Of course, he was brilliant in the T20 format, but I think Thakur can give you those big hits as well down the order,
Yeah.
and that will also allow the batsmen on top to take risks because they know they have batting till the end. It's just a different way to look at it. I feel maybe they might not go with that, but I just feel that's why I would go with Thakur over
So
Chahal.
no Shreyas Iyer in your team?
Yeah, I'm going Surya Kumar. The reasoning
Yeah.
behind that is, for me, in my opinion, I have nothing against Shreyas Iyer. I think they'll probably go Shreyas Iyer. But there's two things. One thing is I think Surya Kumar is like in the form of his life, and I think if you start him now, at least he'll experience the international stage, right? Like if you
Yeah.
throw him in the T20 World Cup, he might not perform at that level straight away. So I want to see how he does. Like give him as much time as you can because I think he's a special talent, right? And
Yeah.
second. Iyer was. I felt that he had a proper weakness in Australia, the short ball. I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll have the same issue in India because of the bounce. That'll be interesting to see. But I felt that like he probably needs to work on that technique. And yeah, that's just my opinion.
I mean, I think I agree with you for the most part. I mean, I honestly think that the couple of things that you said probably won't happen, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because like I mean, I think that they will still go with Dhawan, and I think they'll play KL in the middle, and I think that Surya Kumar will still have to wait for his chance because I think Shreyas Iyer has done
But
enough
if you play
over the.
KL in the middle, you play Iyer also.
Yeah, so I'm with 3, 4 Iyer and 5 KL. I don't. So it'll depend
So you're not going
on
with like a
how.
Sundar.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have to expect Pandya to give me a couple overs with the
Oh,
ball
okay.
as well. But that's the thing. I mean, I completely agree with your point, and I'd like for that point to happen. But I just don't know. I don't know what the think tank is thinking because at this point in time, if they're gonna give Pant a couple more days to just take it off, take it easy, and maybe play him only the last 3 T20s and not the first 2, just give him a break and extend a little bit of a break, which is unlikely. But if that happens, then that makes life easier because Hardik Pandya slots in at that number 6, but I think Pant will play, if not all, at least 3 of the 5 games. So I'm just saying because I think he's had a pretty tiring test series, like and wicket keepers usually burn out a lot faster than others because they have a lot more workload on their
So
body.
you
So
would go Ishan Kishan?
I'd go with KL as my keeper.
Oh, KL. You go KL.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
you're playing KL instead of Rishabh Pant.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
got you there.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I really understand. Like, I mean, I get your point of view, and it actually looks like they might go with that way, because and also like stability wise and everything. But I just feel
Yeah.
that even I would go if you're resting Pant, for example, I just go
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan and Rahul at top. The reason why I'm saying this is because I think India should look at this format a bit differently now because how
Yeah.
did they win the T20 World Cup in 2007? They took
Yeah.
a risk, but they were forced to take that risk. There's no
Yeah.
Sachin, Dravid,
Yeah.
Ganguly opted out, right? So they're forced to take the
Yeah.
risk. And I think it might not pay off, but like I think this is a format for these kind of players just go out, hit
Yeah.
out. But I also understand it's a risk. I've seen over the years that the IPL performances you can't base it on international is a completely different ball game. But I don't know. I just feel like like someone like a Kishan Pant, Pant, we've seen it in the test level already. So they're just game changers. In T20, you need more of that. I feel so. That's why I would go. Whereas Dhawan, I think I would go with him in the one days. But I understand. Like we saw, he had a really good IPL as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
I have nothing against it. It's just my thinking is a bit more risky and more aggressive.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, I agree with your point of view. I just feel like I think India is going to take a little bit more of a subtle approach, and luckily, it's not for you and me to decide. So
Yeah, but also like if they do go my way, then there's a lot of questions. There'll be much more criticism if it doesn't if it
exactly
goes
if
south,
it doesn't
right?
pay
So
off. Yeah,
because I think they took a couple of risks like that in the 2019 World Cup. They took Vijay Shankar and stuff, so they
Yeah.
had to face the aftermath for that. But
Yeah.
I think if you quickly look at the England ideal playing 11, bro, they have 3 different wicket keeping options. They have
hey,
like
man, they're just so stacked.
but this is for me. I'll go Roy Bairstow, Malan, and then Stokes 2 down, Morgan 3 down, Butler, then Moin Ali, Sam Curran, Archer, Jordan, Rashid. Of course, you can bring the likes of Wood, you can bring the likes of Livingstone at the top if Bairstow doesn't perform, and you have Tom Curran as well, and
I think Archer has some kind of an injury, so he's
so if he
probably a
doesn't
doubt.
play,
So
if he doesn't play,
probably
probably
would
Mark
would
Wood, then
instead.
yeah,
Yeah,
probably Mark Wood or Tom Curran probably instead.
yeah,
So the thing is, I think they just have like for like replacements. They have a very strong squad, and
yeah.
even at the top, if Bairstow doesn't perform, they have Livingstone there. He had a really good BBL as well, and I think PSL he played as well. So I think he's in decent form. So
And top quality batting till number 8 with
yeah,
Sam
top.
Curran coming at 8. That's a proper 8 proper batsmen. So
Proper batsman. And a
that's
lot of
yeah,
left-handers there as well. So
yeah.
and we're forgetting Malan is I think number 1 T20
In
batsman.
fact, he's in a form of his life, and he's a perfect number 3 kind of player. So, man, this is such a strong team. It's just going to be very, very difficult for this Indian side. I mean, I still back India to win 3-2, but I think it's going to be a lot harder than the tests were. I think,
Yeah,
with due respect to the test matches.
yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be very, very close. T20s in general are close, but also the fact that England have such a strong white ball team, I think it makes it
And
even.
I think it's a perfect way to start off and get ready for the IPL also.
Yeah, 100%. And just before, actually, on that topic, before we wrap it up, IPL. So the T20 World, this will be a really good preparation, right? And then you're going to play IPL. But do you think this kind of series is more as a team to get together, and then IPL more individual mindset? It's two different kind of preparations. You feel for the World Cup?
100%, because most of the people over here, hardly 2 or 3, maybe the Delhi team has a couple and the Bombay team has a couple, but most of the other guys will probably be uh, playing against each other, right? Like, I mean, you're like the likes of Bhuvi is playing against the likes of Virat,
Yeah.
or the likes of Pant is playing against the likes of Virat, and these guys are important players for this team. So definitely that's going to be different, but I think it's good for just good for that kind of match practice to happen, and that kind of India. You've seen the Indian cricket team grow since the IPL has grown as well. So like you see more fearless cricketers and that kind of stuff. So that's obviously all on display at all times. And you see talent come out, the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, who've been knocking on the door for a while. If the IPL wasn't there, it's probably going to be harder for him to get picked as well. So they go a more traditional approach. But likes of Kishan, likes of Yadav, and these guys are knocking on the door. So you've seen some fearless cricketers come through, and that's good for the team. But I think that playing T20 games like the series against England is going to be important, because you need that team to gel as well.
Yeah, for the chemistry. And the players to watch out for India and
Hardik
England.
Pandya.
Damn,
I
man.
cannot wait to see him play.
I was gonna say that, but I thought who you're gonna take. I would put 100. I would have put $100 on there. I thought you were gonna say Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but
Bhuvi 100% for me. But I just love that clean hitting for Hardik Pandya, man. Like I
agree,
mean,
man.
I'm such a fan of that straight drives and the
You made
straight
me a
down the
fan
ground
of him
shots.
as well. Like incredible.
I haven't seen that kind of clean hitting in a long time. So that just kind of like, it makes me very, and he's not a hefty guy or anything. He's a lean guy.
Yeah.
That kind of power, that straight down the gun sixes he hits, and his attitude after that is just beautiful. I just hope it doesn't get to his head at any point in time, because as is right now, I think it's a perfect mix of the kind of showing the attitude, because he can do it. But if I think he's a mellow guy. I think a lot of things in his life has changed him as well.
Yeah, his past experiences, I think, have made him more mature. So he looks
mellowed,
more mature, I think.
Yeah.
And I think his backlift, that helps him a lot. I think that that high backlift, and then he just brings it down on time. And these pitches will suit him even more than Australia. And Australia, he had an incredible series. So
absolutely. For me, him, and then Bhuvi, of course. Bhuvi is my favorite player. I mean, he is my most favorite player ever who's to wear an Indian jersey for playing white ball cricket. I mean, after Rahul Dravid, I think for me, Bhuvi, as usual.
That's why I was surprised you didn't take his name in when I asked.
But yeah, no, Bhuvi 100%. I love Bhuvi. I just feel like he's not the same. It's unfortunate because he's lost. These injuries have not helped him. But he's a quality guy. Hopefully, he improves that as well. And then from England, for me, I think I'm a big fan of Stokes. So for me, I want to see if Stokes can take a poor test series behind him and really come out all guns blazing in this format. But then there's so many, almost all of them are match winners on that day. I like Sam Curran a lot as well. I'd like to see how he performs. The likes of Morgan, who's a proper white ball player as well, like him as well. So almost all these guys are great. But I think if I have to pick out one or two players, I think Stokes and Sam Curran for me.
Stokes and Sam Curran. Yeah, I agree with you. I'll just go a bit different. I'm going Moin Ali. I just feel that, and Adil
Of
Rashid. I
course
think,
you are.
yeah, Moin
Of
Ali is
course
my
you are. Moin Ali is your
he's my
favorite.
one of my favorite players. I think he can provide with the bat and ball both. I said this a lot of times even during the
Yeah.
IPL. Provide with the bat and ball on Indian pitches. Adil Rashid as well. I think he's bowled
Yeah.
well to the likes of Kohli at home as well. So
Of course.
even to Rohit Sharma, we've seen both of them, like, against leg spinners, there can be an issue here and there. So I want to see how they tackle Adil Rashid. And that would be a very good contest. And from India, Hardik Pandya, and if he plays Surya Kumar, I just really want to see how he plays. I won't go too hard on him because I know, like, getting into the Indian team first, look at Rishabh Pant, it took him a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
easy. It'll take some time. But if he can get going, man, I think he's a lovely player.
He's a classy player. He's been performing for the Mumbai Indians for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's been one of their most consistent performers, like the likes of Pandya brothers and Kishan and Pollard and all these guys have always been there. But I think even Surya Kumar comes up there with the past 2-3 years of being consistent performer
And
for
the fact,
Mumbai.
I think he did it in the domestic circuit as well, in terms of Vijay Hazare, Ranji Trophy, and everything.
Yeah.
I think that will help him as well. But at the end, like, it's international, it's a different ball game. So hopefully he can live up to the expectations. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. I'm gonna copy you because you're getting all the series. Right? I'll go 3-2.
Watch me fail miserably on this one.
I wanted to say 2-2, but I don't want to bank on rain again. I was banking on. I think
watch me fail miserably on this one, and it'll be 5-0 India.
I really don't know if it's going to be that one-sided, but that'd be crazy if it is. But it'll be interesting to see. Also, a lot of these Indian players played the test matches, like you said. So maybe rotation might help India in this sense. So, let's see how it goes. I think some fresh players coming in from both teams, so they'll be looking at them to perform. So
100%.
I'll catch you after the first game for the analysis. And until then, enjoy the rest of the build-up and your day, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you.